Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Crusader Kings 2 The Lion of Spain Summary Update Endgame Edition. Like I said in the update right before Skyrim started going up back in... it was probably beginning of December or whatever it was. Well, I'm going to kind of blitz through the rest of this Let's Play, for the most part off camera, just because it's so dull and boring and sloggy, just so we get to the end game, and we'll possibly have a conversion save we can put over into EU4, which I have begun playing again, and boy has a lot changed since I last played it, so I am kind of gone back to being clueless and novice, but, you know, that's possibly part of what makes the games fun, is watching me struggle. So, I'm going to get started on playing this, and I am recording, obviously, and if anything interesting happens, I'll be sure to, you know, edit that into this update video, and I'll go over, like, some saves and stuff like that in the post-game as well. So, I'm going to get going, and I will see you guys if something interesting happens. Right, so this will all be done in post-commentary. I just kind of played through the game here. And as you can see, we got an independence faction. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, looking at this listing here of people, and then the actual Duke here, who I think... No, I was trying to assassinate another Duke at the time. But looking at him, trying to find some way I could just screw him over for being a pain in my side. But the game intelligently doesn't let you do that. And so I've decided that, looking at this and looking at the people that are actually involved, I figured I could probably actually fight this one. So I'm going to. Hence the reason why I am presently showing it to you. So I had to pick a couple new people here, to be on the council, since some of our other, council members were in rebellion. So we picked a few newbies there. Called up the forces after looking around a bit. Trying to figure out a way to best lock things down. So Spain here has a couple of revolting counties, and I called up my entire domain here, trying to bring enough troops together in Spain to deal with the rebel threat there, and then transitioning around the world, one, looking and surveying what's going on, and two, trying to pull down the forces that I have there, because, you know, I don't want to, you know, have unnecessary battle losses. Blah, 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 blah. So, we have Barcelona's forces over here, or Aragon's forces over here, dealing with a rebel faction, the one down in the bottom, the furthest left one. That was a failed arrest chance, trying to kick people out of the independence faction. Then we got the Carrion for the Vultures event pop up, so we're going to pan up here and see 100,000 troops sitting in Northumberland, and just ugh. Thankfully they are eating a lot of attrition, and they're going to spread themselves out, which is going to be our only saving grace. And looking at this, just going, okay, how can we manipulate the different armies to try to get out of the way of supporting each other, so we can get a large enough force in there and take them down. I'm also was hoping that they would do some siege assaults, because that's really going to help us just whittle down their numbers. As you can see, they've kind of started to do that a little bit. I don't know if you caught it there. They were all down to around 25,000, down from about 33, so that's 8,000 in attrition and just insta-sieging costs. I've also been pulling together forces here in Spain, consolidating, and as you see down there at the bottom, we're at minus 36 war score at the moment. So what I really need to do is to take a specific county that's in rebellion, so at least they don't get the ticking war score of the rebels hold all their counties. So I'm going to go for the Spanish ones just because they're easy, they're within range, they don't have a lot of other support around them. And there we go. So you saw there that dropped down to a minus 26, which was very helpful. I've got Aragon's army over in Anatolia there, and taking out some stray, wandering, small rebel factions. And I'm going to pull them into Turkey, and going to try to take out a couple counties and reinforce them along the way, as we go along here. Hopefully planning to lower or to get a couple more sieges, just so that we have some breathing room when things kick off. I'm sorry, I have to mute my cell phone. Someone wants to marry person. Oh, okay, yeah. I got a marriage request, so I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Go ahead. And we're gonna reinforce here in is it Salamanca? It was Salamanca. The Holy War that we were engaged in. I don't know if you saw, we were engaged in a number of other wars, but that ended. Obviously, ticked over. We've got rebels in Britain. I'm improving my stewardship. And things looking not good, but also not awful. So that's kind of nice. And these stray armies down here can be some nice kind of war score boosts as well. And seeing what white piece would be available. Obviously, it's not. And just kind of looking at the thing here, just out of fun. And fighting off some more rebels in Spain. And what I'm starting to think at this point is if I can basically teleport Aragon's army over and match it up with the one that's presently sitting in Salamanca, then I can... That's not Salamanca. What is that? Whatever county that is. Sorry. But if I can merge those up and get them into Britain, I probably have enough of a chance to take out some of those armies and really decrease the war score success. But I'm going to try to secure some areas over here in order to... great. Thank you, autosave. But try to score some areas over here in Turkey in order to... give us a little bit more of a buffer, because we're really losing a lot of these sieges up in Scotland. So trying to do that. We're at minus 65 right now, and that's not going to start going down anytime soon. So I'm going to teleport the fleet. I'm going to send the Aragon army. Oh, hang on a second. Right, sorry about that. Had a quick phone call. So, trying to, again, do the quick sieges here, giving us enough of a buffer zone. We're down to 77 war score, not doing very well at the moment, but we can't really attack and defend what they're hitting. So, going to have to... really get together a large enough force and get it over there quickly, or we're gonna get hit pretty badly. I need a couple days there. Just checking to see what the major things that are hurting us are, and as you might imagine, Scotland is our biggest drain at the moment in terms of our war score success. So we're gonna assault this holding, give us a little bit more success here. And looking up here, a lot of them are down to the mid-low 20s, which is good. That's almost 10,000 men, so 30,000 collectively that are gone. So essentially one of those stacks that initially spawned is just wiped, which is good. That's going to give us some breathing room, the opportunity to be able to do something. I'm not even paying attention to this Holland War, the one that's actually furthest to the left on the screen there. Not paying attention to that at all. Have other things. 88% war score against me. That's not good. So we're taking out that army that was going to try to siege back that town. We're going to move them into Faro. And then I accidentally gave an order to my boat. There we go. And yeah, they've got Fife. What is that? Fife, Lothian. I think they had Strathair in lockdown. So just not really good over there. And we're going to... bring these guys down. Gonna blow that army away, it doesn't matter. Minus 91, we're really in dire straits. Not exactly good. But if we can get this army up there and distract them enough... Now what I was gonna try to do was run up and blitz really quickly to relieve one of the sieges on like Fife or over there on the or the eastern side of Scotland. Hopefully be able to get in there, blow one of the sieges away, put the boats in, jump the army on, and get them back out. So I'm bringing in some of the Irish forces here. Just as kind of, you know, the more the merrier kind of a thing. And then you are moving into Lycia to break the siege there. Again, give us a little bit more breathing room. That's really all this fighting is for at the moment, is to give us just a little bit of extra space. So we got 3 war score there, and that might not seem like a lot, but when you're at 97, that 3 is going to be really, really important. And I'm really not sure at this stage if I'm going to be able to make it that far. So I'm going to go in, blow the army sitting in York out of the way. And you see there, the armies are actually getting into the high teens up at the top there. So that's, again, they're expending their manpower with insta-sieging and things like that. And that's going to give us, again, the slight amount of breathing room that we need in order to do what we need to do. There we go. So we're going to take out that army. No real problem or question. And then figure out how we're going to best maneuver and pull up whatever forces we can in Britain to kind of supplement us for the guys we lost landing and taking that battle in order to move further north. We've also got the Irish troops that I'm going to send the boats around for in just a moment as well. Go. So we'll have 18,000 men, which, you know, will be certainly good and helpful. I'm going to move into, again, continuing sieges in Turkey. Just watching these tick down. And again, just trying to bring in whatever forces we can. I realized that all this was under Aragon, like Brittany and a lot of these territories are under Aragon, so I was just going to bring all those in. And then we've got these Holy Roman forces here because of the war with Holland, and just trying to figure out like if we can maneuver those around. And realize we need to really like get those 500 men like up and out and into Brittany to get them on the boats to get them out of here. I'm just going to call up those guys and destroy those 20 men because it's 20 men. Who cares? We've already got Barcelona up. We're just looking for any other forces that we can kind of pull up because I don't want to use the mass pull up here. But I'm going to try to find the any large numbers that aren't being used. So we got Serbia over here. We can pull up his forces, and I'm going to try to get some forces together out of Hungary. But you know that they're not close enough that it's going to take me a while to be able to get them into place to get them over to Britain, because again that's where the major fighting is at the moment. But again, continuing with our Turkish campaign, we have roughly enough men that we're going to be able to do that. Force these guys back. We've got 2,000 men moving there. Yep. It's got 16,000 here, and what I see here happening is one of those stacks is coming south, and I'm hoping the rest aren't going to move to reinforce it because I should have this. I didn't get a river crossing penalty, unfortunately, but I'm reinforcing them, and they've only got the one guy defending versus our 3, so that's really going to give us a lot of extra pressure. We can flank them well, and that's what ended up happening, and we destroyed one of those stacks, and we're going to continue chasing it and moving south. So that's really given us some help there, down to only minus 71%. And then once these guys are done, I'm going to siege there, kick that through, chase this army, wipe them out. There we go. So that's another 30,000, men gone. That was like what? That was around 20,000, but still. He's not willing to take a white piece yet because he's still really, he's still got the advantage, and very much so. I know it, and he knows it, so I'm trying to see if I can abuse the AI a little bit. And then that siege is ticking down. So we're moving north, continuing into Northumberland here. And then see that 20,000 stack chasing down. And it's like, no, 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 no. So we're pulling down. I'm going to run to the south of Britain, bring the boats down, and I'm going to put the boats down here as well. If we need to make a quick escape, we can do that. And I'm trying to figure out how I can teleport my men over there. So we're going to siege this real quick, because I realize I need to get Aragon's forces over there quickly in order to be effective. So I'm going to siege this, and then bring these guys down, once that finishes up. Bring those guys down into Ephesus in order to get them over here, because I'm going to be looking at Aragon's counties at that point, and see where's the closest that I have that I can get them there. So bring them down here real quick. Just like panicking and watching Britain, making sure that 20k stack doesn't wander where it's not supposed to. I see he's got the county of Galloway up in Scotland. It's like, oh, thank God. So I'm going to grab these boats, pull them around there, in order to get them into position. So dump those 2,000 men there, and then bring the boats up to Galloway. To try to grab that. I see this 20,000 stack still pushing south, and I know I don't have the manpower in Britain at the moment to be able to fight that off. So they're almost to Ephesus, so I'm going to stand them down and then pull up Aragon's army in... There we go. Stand them down, pull up Aragon's army in Galloway once the boats come round here. Yeah, someone's in jail. They can stay in jail for the moment. Not my priority. Okay, and you see the army there is stopped in Lincoln. Which is kind of nice. I didn't realize I'd used that much of Aragon's army in the sieges and things over in the east. It's like, only 7,000 men. Okay, so we're gonna bring them around. And my plan was going to be to engage with the... I think it'll end up being a 15,000 stack, and then reinforce by landing the boats with Aragon's army to have 22,000, and hopefully that would give us enough. So that's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment, and then bringing together the forces over here in Asia Minor, the ones that we originally had up, supporting Aragon's force, but then we're just going to pull them all together here. See if there's any other places that we can pull troops from that aren't going to get wrecked by rebels or rebels of either kind, really. And we've got the Egyptian forces here. And coming around there. Pull them into Kent. They've lost a rebel siege down in northern Africa. And then this was obnoxious, because there was a penalty there, or a faction trying to install someone as a king, and normally I wouldn't care, but one, it's the ruler of Alba, meaning the entirety of Britain, which is not good. I'm not going to give that up. Two, the more annoying part is that Aragon was in this war, so I'm going to immediately lose his forces and boats by ticking this over, and it's gonna go in just a second here. Nope, nope. There it is. So it's like, those 7,000 men I was relying on to support me down here was just all of a sudden gone. And so And so I am going to try to take this guy out, because if I kill the claimant, then the war ends. So by pressing the claim, these people have just killed this guy. I realize I can't move my Spy Master, so I just replace him, because I need to move him. Grab the wrong war. There we go. And then assassinates. 36% chance. Let's do it. And kill him. Oh no, how terrible. The man has died and the war has expired. Now I can grab Aragon's forces and bring them back. But Aragon has then pulled up all of his forces in another war, and so I get half of what I had before. And I was like, So I was going to stand them down, and then I realize in a couple seconds here, like, nope, I can't afford to do that. I need to bring them up and bring them down, even though it's not the 7,000 that I was, counting on. And I had to pull up a couple of the other English lords as well, because they were in that particular revolt as well. So pulling my guys into Cornwall, and that 19,000 stack is really tremendously scary. I'm doing everything I can to try to keep a buffer between me and them. So I've grabbed the 5,000 troops that Aragon can give me, pull them down. It's like I have to use you. There's no other way around it. It's the only way I can get enough troops together in order to have a chance at winning this war against this 19,000 strong stack. But then I start thinking there's a weaker stack up here in the top, so I'm going to grab these guys, get them out before that 19,000 stack can hit them, and we're going to go sail north and take out the easy one. The 13,000 that's up there, just certainly wreaking havoc, but So the 19,000 can just siege Middlesex. I don't care at that point. My men are safe. That's really what I'm trying to protect more than anything, is my manpower. My ability to fend off these side attacks. Continually checking the war score just to see where my major targets need to be. And if it's looks starting to tilt back into our favor. I feel like this war would have been significantly easier if they didn't get that carrion for the vultures event, but they did, obviously. Pulling together the army here in Anatolia. This 5,000-6,000 strong army, coupled with the guys that I have down in Jerusalem, Egypt area, is going to be more than enough to hold that area down. I'm going to try to assassinate one of the leaders of the rebel faction here as well. And 19,000 against 13, and again, all pressing on that singular commander. So our center is really going to take a lot of damage, but the flanks are just going to completely cripple their ability to fight. As you can see. There we go. So they've only got 3,000 men left against our 17. So we really only lost like 2,000 men in that fight, which is fantastic. And then we're going to blow it out of the water. There we go. Excellent.